Okay, that much thing. So now we understood, okay, what is my class variable. Okay, in the class variable, what I can store. Same way I said in the same part, I have whenever defining a class, I have also a member method or class member. Let's see what is this class member. Okay, so whenever I'm saying this class member, sorry, class method, what does it mean? So it's nothing but it defines the behavior of the class. See, data members are defined the state of the class, okay, what it contains, and class method defines the behavior. See, Manas is a person with name as Manas, okay, and age is something, and gender is male, and qualification is something, okay. Now these are the state of the Manas, what Manas is, but how Manas behaves. Is Manas able to walk? Manas able to talk? Manas able to eat? So that is nothing but behavior. How he behaves with the people. What is his like? How he walks? Okay, that are the behavior. So when I come to the behavior, that are nothing but my class method. Okay. So I'll start with the syntax of writing a class method. Then we'll define what we can do it. Like in the calculator, there is a behavior addition of two number I want to do, multiplication of some numbers I want to do. That are the behavior of my calculator. So if I create a calculator as a class, then in the behavior I can give addition, subtraction, multiplication, all this kind of thing. Okay, so whenever I'm coming to this syntax of the class method, what I want to do, again I'm going to give my access specifier. You can see I'm just writing it as an optional access specifier. Then I'm going to write in the access specifier we may have the public private, but I'll talk what kind of access specifier we have. And also in the optional we may have override, okay, we may have static, okay. And then we can define it as some kind of data type, okay. I'll tell what is the data type, nothing but I can say it's a return type. Then I can define my method name. Then inside the method, I can take optionally some input parameters. Okay, input parameters. Then I can just write what this class is going to do inside my bracket. Inside this, I'm going to write my logic. And remember, whenever I want to comment, I can do this double slash, or I can write the comment like this. Okay, so now see, whenever you want to define a class, you give your access specifier, then you may use override or you may use static. Then data type, nothing but I can more specific, I can say it's a return type. Okay, then my method name, then input parameters. Okay, let's understand what is access specifier going to be. You tell me what kind of access specifier it can contain. Same like it can be public, it can be
Private
private, it can
and
be
global.
Global
protected.
protected
No,
also.
global will go as a class specifier. It will not come to the method. If its
Okay.
class is global, it will be by default it's global.
Yeah, by
Okay,
default.
and also you can define global also, but it's always we go with our class specifier. You can define public, private, protected, global, anything. Okay. So now same way we have override. Override again we'll see on the time of inheritance. Okay. So how let's override, if we tell a basic example, let's if you see in the real time example, inheritance. So we are going to inherit the properties and behavior of our parents to us. So if you see, you have also some behavior inherited from your parents to you. Okay. So some kind of behavior also you have your own. Okay, so some kind of behavior you bring from your parent to you and you override that with your behavior. So when you come to that kind of thing, we'll do override. We'll see in complete detail when you go to inheritance concept. Okay, same way you have the static, which we'll discuss again in the upcoming session how this static going to be useful for us. Okay, that will come in the static part. Then we'll come to return type. Okay, so now what is the meaning of return type? Okay, see, let's consider one small example. It's a very basic example I'm giving. Let's like you will never forget what is return type and how I'm going to store the return type and parameters. So now let's consider you went to a marriage party. Somewhere you went to a marriage party. There is a food counter you have here. Okay, some food counter you have. Okay, so like nice delicious Indian foods are there. We can go and enjoy nicely. So there is one counter we have. Wherever I have biryani here. Okay, and here I have some drink I have here. Okay, here I have some roti and sabji like this. Okay, so now if we let's consider these are nothing but one method for me. This one counter what we have consider it's one method, for example. Okay, so now let's see, you are going to bring something. So being a person, what you're going to do, you are going to call this method. Okay, you are some other function or anywhere else, you are going to call this method. Okay, so whenever you want to call, that means in a real time, in a real world entity, what I say, you will go to bring the biryani. Am I correct? So when you go and tell the if somebody in the counter who is serving you, if you go and give the biryani, how you will go on, you will go with a plate. Okay, give me biryani. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yes. So if you go to the drink counter, so how will go? How will go? Like in the biryani counter, you going to with a plate to a drink counter. How you will go? You will go with a plate or with a glass?
Glass.
Perfect. So now you expect whenever you will go and call this biryani counter, you will get the something from the counter in a plate. And whenever you will go to drink counter, you will get something from the drink counter in a glass. If you go with a plate, if they give in a plate, you are not able to take it. It will be split or it will go somewhere else. Am I correct?
Yes.
So return type tells whenever you are going to call a particular method, how you are going to get the data. Okay, are you going to get data in a plate or are you going to get data in a glass? Same way, are you going to get data in an integer or are you going to get data in a string or are you going to return something from that function in some collection or are you going to get the data in a form of some a subject? How you want to, how it is going to return you? That defines my return type. Got my point? Return type nothing but it can be any data type what we have discussed previously. Clear? So now, let's see, if I go to my class here, what we are writing right now. See, anytime any confusion, you can stop me and you can ask me. Again, I am saying, okay. If I come here, if I want to write method, what I can do, I can define my access specifier public. Okay. Let's see, I want to get, how I want to get data here. So if somebody calls this function, let's say I get my method name add, for example. Okay. So see, I'm not going to pass any parameter. I'll come to this pass parameter because if you see, I said and my function can take some input parameter. It's optional, can take some input parameters. I come to that part. When I say public add, okay, so now nothing but I'm going to add number 1 plus number 2. This expression I'll tell what kind of expression we are going to use, number 1, number 2. And when this number 1, number 2 addition happens, is this function going to return something? Yes, it's going to return the result. So two integer, if I'm going to sum, it is going to give me result as a integer. So it's number 1 plus number 2. And this integer I want to return. So nothing but, can I say, it's nothing but returning the result if somebody call this. Am I correct? So this result returning in what form? It's returning in the form of integer. See, that is nothing but going to be my return type. So public, then access specifier, then my return type, my method name. If parameter need, we can pass here. Then I can do my result like this. Is this clear till now? Understood what is this return type and how I am going to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me save this. Or is this going very basic? Or you want a little bit advanced level? Let me know. See, we will go very advanced level. So if you are comfortable with this, I'll skip these things? Or you are okay if you discuss in this very basic manner?
Yeah, go
What
with
do
the
you
basic
feel?
analysis.
Perfect. If you're fine, I'm absolutely fine. Okay.
Go with the
So
basics.
now, perfect. See, I want the basics to be clear first. Till the time you don't have basic clear, then you may write a good logic, but sometimes you may stuck also. See,
Yes.
I write public integer art, I just save it. So you understood. I have seen many people in my life who are very confused about this return type. What is return type? What happens? So just remember one thing: when somebody calls this, how they get data, and to remember more generic way, remember this example: go with plate, get the biryani; go with glass, get the drink. If you go with plate to get drink, you will not get it. Your data will split. Your data will fall down somewhere. Same way. If I call this my method, if I try to store in somewhere in string, I will not get it. Okay. This is one small example. I just have it. Okay. This is one class, very basic class we created. Let's see how I can execute this class. There are many ways to execute the class. For this example, what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute this class. Okay. So now whenever I want to, okay, now before, okay, I have to discuss first execute this class. Okay. So now, no question till now for me?
No.
Perfect. Now see, okay, we understood we create a class, nothing but this is my blueprint, or I can say this is my template. Now, this class doesn't have any memory allocation on my system, nothing but on my org. So there is no transfer happening. So now what happened? I can initialize this class, or I can instantiate this class to create a real world entity or create an object which will have some memory locations. Then we'll see what we can do it. For instance, if you see, whenever I make this building plan, this is my plan, nothing but my class what I have. Now I want to instantiate, I want to create an object, nothing but I want to create a building. So how it's going to create a building? There are many things going to happen on this part. Am I correct? So the moment you want to create a building, there is many things to be happened. So let's see. Let me make this diagram once again to give you a very basic concept to be clear right now. Okay, very basic concept. Okay, so now on the same example, what we do, we got my architecture plan, some plan we got here. Okay, something we just got a plan from one of architect. This is my building plan. So you have the plan. Now you want to make one building, you want to make an apartment. So what you should do first, you have a land. Consider you have a very good land somewhere here. Here you have a land. Now you want to construct a building. So you have a plan, you have a land. Then what do you do? Land nothing but just consider in Salesforce, I have one platform where I can write something. Okay, this is your plan. What you are going to do it? Just think, you are going to construct a building. What you will do? You have a plan from architect. You have all clearance, everything ready. Then what is your first step? Manas?
I'll start with building the layouts.
Layout nothing but you have this building plan.
Yeah,
That plan
already
contains
done.
layout. Yes. So after this, what do you need to do? You want to make same kind of structure in this area. So what you need to do first? You have lot of money and you have plan, you have land. Then what you will do? So I can say a lot of money in the sense I have a lot of resource in my Salesforce server. I have my lot of memory. I have defined a class. So now I want to do something. Okay, let me tell you. Yes, Lucas, you have any idea what you will do on this part?
Yeah, first we'll try to execute the plan.
Mm-hmm.
If we fail somewhere,
Yes.
just yeah, you may try it. I don't know how to
Okay.
explain.
Okay. Let me tell you in a very basic level. Okay. So if I have a land, I have one my architect plan. Then this is my land and this is my architect plan. Then to construct it, I want to construct it. Simply I can say one word I'm saying, I want to construct it, correct? So when I want to construct, see, I cannot go to work there to bring the bricks to make the walls. I need to hire some contractor or some labor, correct? Who are going to construct it. Am I correct? It may be a contractor, it may be labor, anything. So who are going to construct? Can I call them as, in more one terminology, can I call them as constructor? Am I correct? So there will be some constructor who may be a contractor and laborers, okay, or maybe some civil engineers, whoever may be, depending on my budget and my plan, okay. So that constructors will work for me to give one building for me. I'll pay the money, okay, take this much money, and this is my plan, this is my land, make a building for me. So the constructor, combination of nothing but my contractor, my laborers, or some civil engineers who will work to make this architect plan to be with some physical real world entity or real world building here, can I say? So who will make this building? So simply I can say some contractor or constructors, they will work to make this building. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Same way. So if I go to technical concept, what I'm going to say here, this is my class. Am I correct? See, if you say this is my, let me write it, this is my class. Correct? So now my class going to be converted to some real world building. Nothing but which I can say now object. So how this object constructed? There is something called constructor who are going to construct it. So constructor are one thing who is going to make my build my class to a object. My constructor is going to create an object for me from this class. So you may heard constructor a word always, correct?
Yes.
So now constructor is a thing who is going to convert my class to object. So now I have this plan have a constructor, same constructor can make the same building in some other area, correct?
Yes.
Am I correct or
Yes.
not? So now how many times you will invoke this constructor, that many times my object is going to be instantiated. Okay, so now what going to happen? So what is, we'll see what is constructor in a class. Okay, you understood in a class I have class member and member method. Now I'm going to show you, see, input parameters I'll talk again. I'll come back to this class method, how I'm going to pass input parameter I'll talk, but in a flow to complete, I come to object part. Okay, so now object nothing but it's a real world entity, I can say, or I can say this is something which have some memory allocation. In a day-to-day life, I can say it's a building which we can see, which has some physical location, or in a programmatical language, I can say there is something which have memory allocation in the system. Okay. To do this, what we have? We have something called constructor. So we will understand what is constructor in programming language and how it's going to help us to create in my create object in my class. Okay. So let's see what is this happening. So now whenever you write a class, okay, so constructor, if you say whenever you want to create an object, we will invoke a call to constructor. Okay, see, if you write anytime any small program also, you know this constructor, you have used many times, you may miss it. Okay, so when I say constructor, what it is? Constructor, we can say it's like a method only. It's a special method, I can say in a single word. Is a special method of a class. So the name is same as class name. Okay, see, if calculator is a class, I have method addition. So it's saying the constructor, you will see it is same as my class name. It should be something like this. Okay, it's the same name as a class name, first of all thing. Okay, and this method, see, whenever I am writing a method, I am defining some return type. So constructor is a method which have no return type. Okay, there is no return type of this constructor. And again, constructor can take, okay, it's can take any number of parameters. If you want 0 number, 0 or 1, any parameters. So now, one more thing you remember always, whenever you are creating a class, if you don't see any method as the same as class name, that means there is no constructor defined. The moment constructor not defined in the class, constructor not defined, then what is going to happen? A compiler going to give one default constructor with it. Okay, constructor with it. That is going to be my default constructor. If you see on my class, I have written on calculator class, there is no class name, no method name as calculator, you can see. So that means if you see in the backend what happened, if I go and write in a notepad, so in the compiler, my class is going to be set like this. It will be by default, there will be something written as like this, calculator. It will be something like this, okay? It will be something like this, my class in the system right now. If I want, I can define my constructor also, okay? But till the time I don't define the constructor, by default, system supplies one zero argument constructor. Nothing but there is no argument inside this method, you can see. This is going to be like this. So whenever I'll come to how I'm going to pass arguments on this constructor, but now my system is like that. And whenever you want to instantiate the object of this class, same way whenever you want to get the object of this building, when you want to, what I said, I will call the constructor to construct it in a single line. So now same way, if this is a class for me where my constructor, I have a, if I don't write a constructor in the system, what is going to happen? It is going to give one zero argument constructor by the system automatically. And how I will create object of it? So I will call my constructors. Okay. So what is my constructor? I am going to write, whenever you want to call constructor, nothing but I'm going to allocate some memory to it. Simply, I want to do what? I want to create object of this class. So my class name, okay, then my object name I can define. Let me write my full syntax here. How we create the object? My class name, then my object reference name, okay, equal to, make this new, and my constructor name, it is the same as class name. You can see the class name. If you understood it's a class name, but exactly it's a constructor we are calling. Okay, if you write this statement, okay, I can simply type here my constructor name. Okay, this is statement. If I write, it is going to create my object. It's going to allocate some memory allocation for me. For the example of calculator, if I do it, so what I do here, calculator, let's say reference name I gave CLC, it's going to happen my leave calculator. So the CLC is nothing but an object reference where I'm pointing to some memory allocated to my object created for this class. Is this clear? Or any question? You can ask me any type of question. You can ask me. It may be silly question, maybe complex question, anything. Ask me.
So before that, that is what you're saying, right? Calculator CLC is nothing but a custom data type. That's what you're saying, right? Before also.
Calculator, yeah, right now I can say yes, you can set it data type.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if I go to my developer console, let's see, I want to execute it. So from the developer console, I want to debug, and I came to open a execute animation window where I'm going to execute something without storing the information in my metadata server. So see, I have a class called calculator. I'm going to instantiate one object of it. So I gave my object reference name. Then I call my constructor here. See, I just gave my new calculator, correct? So now I do calculator dot in the class. What I have in the class, I have a method called add. Okay, I just call add here. So add, not taking any parameter, zero argument I'm passing in my method. So I'm not going to pass anything from here. Okay. So now when I call, it's going to return what? It's going to return me integer. So now I'm going to store the result in integer. Let's see, int res equal to this. So now if I go here, I do my system to print any statement in a debug log in the Apex. You can write there is a method on the system class predefined method which you call system.debug. Let's say the result is, I can say the addition is nothing but what I got returned. So nothing but you just going to uh, ask for biryani, you got in the biryani plate, same thing. So if you want to execute, if whatever code you are writing on this window, if you want to execute, you can click execute. Or if you want to execute a particular line of code, simply select that, you can click execute highlighted. And the moment its execution completed, if you want to see the log, select this open log, you can show. And in this developer console, you can see everything, when memory allocated, what memory allocated. So all execution you can see line by line in the log file. So I click the open log and click execute. So the moment I execute, it's going to instantiate the object of this class, nothing but allocating the memory to it, then invoking the method. So whenever you have non-static, see, I saw a static, which we'll discuss in upcoming sessions. So if you see in this class, there is nothing we define static keywords. So all are my non-static or instance variables or instance methods. To access any instance members or instance methods, I can access using the object name dot my method name or object name dot my variable name, whatever you want. So now I want to access on this class my method. So I did the instance name dot method name. If you see this, this is going to be this one. I just call this method name by invoking my object name dot my instance method name. Then I click on execute right now here. The moment I execute, something happened in the system, my transaction initiated, and I got the return from that method. If you see, I got each log. So if you see the log, you will see this log, how much memory allocated, heap allocations, everything you see here. Then you will see the debug logs. And if you want to see only my debug logs, what we have written, simply select this one, debug only. If you see here, you can see the R is 30. So now my logic is executed in the system, what we have written, and it's returned me the result as 30. If you see here, I got my result 10 plus 20 equal 30. Any question in the constructor part till now? Any question? Manas?
Yes, I have one question. When exactly we need this constructor in our Apex class? Like,
Okay, see, right now on my Apex class, I didn't write my constructor. No worries, it's okay.
yeah.
So let's see. Here I'm just setting 10 and 20 right one variable. You can it depends on the logic what you're writing. Okay, so whenever you want to initialize something, okay, I was just going to that part. Okay, whenever you want to initialize something during object creation, okay, so that thing we can pass in constructor. Okay, that means what does it mean? So let's see here 1020. I want, okay, let's see whoever create an object, they will pass what is the value of number one, number two. So I am not going to initialize anything here. In number one, number two, I don't initialize here. Okay, so what I'll do here, I will write a constructor. Constructor is same as class name without a return type. My class name is calculator. Same way I wrote one method without a return type. And now I am passing the constructor with two parameters. One we can say integer number one, and one I can say, I'll explain two point here. Okay, I can pass integer A and integer B. Okay, and the moment I pass integer A and B, simply the value what I'm passing, I can set number one equal to A, and I can say number two equal to B. Clear? So see, then I can just save it. Nothing but I can say, the moment you are going to instantiate the object, I am passing some value and initializing it. So now, if I go to my previous execution, what I have did here, okay, if I try to execute here, see, there is no constructor defined because I have written one constructor with two parameter passed. So system not going to provide any default constructor for me, which was before. Now my constructor expect two values. Let's say I pass 30 and 70 as two value. And the moment I pass 30 and 70, during my object creation, I initialize the value to data members, and then I call my method to execute it. So I click execute. So let me go here. Sorry, I have to pass it here. Okay. 30 and 70. Okay, now this add doesn't have anything. I pass the value here. Now I just click execute. Okay, now if you see the debug log, see 30 70 became 100, correct? So whenever you want to initialize something during the object creation, you can write your own constructor and you can initialize whatever you want. That's the one basic fundamentals here. Okay, now this is clear or any question, Manas?
No, it's clear.
Perfect. Now see, I'm writing integer a and b, number 1 equal to a, number 2 equal to b. This is not looks good, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to introduce one thing. This is something called this keyword. Okay. So okay, we understood. We see this constructor what I have written. I can write another. I can have multiple constructors. Let me see. I can write one more constructor also. Okay. See, I can have multiple constructor also. No worries. Okay. Integer a, integer b. Let's see. I want to do some double value. I can do double a, double b also. I can pass double a and double b also, and also I can give you one more variable like then I cannot store in the number 1 as a integer value, so it need to be stored to a double value. Okay, I can also write another constructor for the same way with anything. So I'm saying I can do any parameterized change and I can write multiple constructor also. See, I can also save it. This is one part. Okay, whatever you want, we can do it on this part. I just said successfully I can save it. Okay, see, so that means you can have multiple constructors with the different parameters. I cannot write with the same. If I try to write the same constructor once again with the same parameters, let's say I'm just going to write once again. I try to save. See, it's not allowing. Method already defined. So it's saying we can have different constructor. Nothing but it's the concept of method overloading. Okay, I'll come to this slide once again also. But constructor also can be overloaded with different parameters. Integer a, integer b. I can define double a, double b, or integer a, double b. Any combination you can do, it should not be match. It should be different match. Then we can define multiple constructor here. Okay. Okay. So now what going to happen? Let's see. Here I pass my integer a and integer b. I did here. Let's consider instead of that, I just do the integer number 1 and integer number b, number 2 here. Okay. So now if the same name I have, if I try to do number 1 equal to number 1 and like number 1 equal to a we did before, number 2 equal to number 2, then which number 1 I'm going to refer? Is this the class variable or is this the class variable or is this the method variable? Which one I'm referring? So compiler will be confused what to set. So it may set to this number 1 and this number 1 may have the empty values, which I'm accessing here. So now what I do, whenever you want to access anything from this class, okay, see what I can do, I can set this, just one basic example, though these have multiple uses. This is one, this I can say, I can set this dot number 1 equal number 1. That means on this class, take this number 1 variable and set the value to this method variables. This dot number 2 as number 2 also. Okay, so this keyword, what we can do, like see, we cannot define multiple variables. Like also we will see these examples whenever we come to the inheritance concepts. Okay, for now we see this basic example. Whenever you want to access the class variable name inside a method, you can also use this keyword. Okay, this is very basic example. Yes, tell me.
Could you please say one more time this? I didn't get exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, see, this nothing but is a keyword for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, let me make a note, then we'll understand it. Okay, object creation, you understood?
Yeah.
Now I'm coming to this keyword because I'm in that example, so I just shown you this. So this is a keyword which can be used, let me note it, can be used to refer instance variable of the class. Which class? Instance variable of the current class. Instance variable is nothing but which variables or data members I didn't declare with static. Okay, no static declaration, that we call as instance variable. Okay, so whenever you want to access the instance variable, when you want to refer the instance, not access, when you want to refer the instance variable, we can use this. Okay, so this can be used to invoke or initiate current class constructor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there are multiple things. We saw only the first part. Okay, and also can be used, or sorry, can be passed as an argument in the method call. We'll see everything, but one by one. Okay, and also can be used in the return statement. So many places. So simply we saw this can be used to refer any instance variable of the current class. That means if you see, if I want to refer my number one, then see I have number one as two variable. Here also one number one variable. Here also number one variables. Correct. So same name, but I want to refer my class variable. I want to assign the value to my class variable. What value I got from here? So like before I did number one equal to A. It was like this, correct?
Yes.
And also again I had number two equal to B. And that time my parameter was like this, integer A and integer B, correct? So that time, okay, the A method variable what I have, I assign to my number one class variable, and B my method variable I assign to number two class variable. But whenever the name is same, I cannot write number one equal to number one, correct? So compiler to understand, okay, this number one also a method variable. It's not going to do anything. So what I can do, I want to refer my class instance variable number one. So simply I can use this dot my class variable name equal to the method variable what we have. Same with this dot my class variable name equal to the method variable name what we have. Clear? This is one point. So it can be used to refer instance variable of current class. It can be used to invoke the current class constructor. See, simply I can do in this class from here I can do this dot calculator I can call also. I'll come to that part. Don't be, will not go to that expertise level now. Let's understand very basic first. Okay. So first point, this is a very basic we should understand first. So whenever you want to refer any instance variable, simply we can use this dot variable name. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, double
Perfect. Perfect. So we understood this much thing. Let's see. I don't want to pass as a constructor argument. I will pass directly on my class. Okay. I don't want to define any constructor and constructor argument. Okay. I just going to comment out. We understood the constructor concept. I am just going to comment everything. So what I do here, I don't want to declare any variable also. Okay, I'm going to pass argument to my method. Let's see, I pass my integer number one, I pass my integer number two, and I'll get my result, I return it. Simply I'm going to pass as a parameter because I said my method can take parameter here, correct?
Yes.
Input parameter. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do here, so this is my class I defined. Let's see, whenever I'm saying integer number two, and to call that method, I understood I have to create the object. And I said I don't want to pass any argument. It's a default constructor I have because I have commented everything. Okay, I don't have any constructor, only I have this method. So now to do this, what I need to do, I am going to pass data on my method. So simply I can pass the value to my method like this. You may directly hardcode the value here, or you may have data like integer, let's see, n1 equal to 10. You can give any name, integers n2 equal to 70. Then you can pass n1 and n2. It's not going to be same type of data type what I have defined in method. You can see integer data type defined in the method parameters. So same data type, whatever I have defined here, it should be the same. Then I can pass it here. So like this also, you can pass the method parameter. It can be integer, it can be string integer, it can be any combinations. It can be collection, it can be a subject, it can be object, anything. Okay, any kind of data type you can pass as a parameter also. Clear?
Yes.
So if you see the output after my execution, you will see 70 plus 10, I will get as 80. Okay, so in the today's session, we understood what is a class, what is my data member, how I can, what is my member methods, and how I can create an object, and using object, how I can access my methods. Okay, so if I summarize this completely, so can I in a nutshell, can I say we understood in the today's session, okay, so how to write a class, inside the class, how can I create data member, and inside the class, how I can create my member methods, nothing but I can say functions. And then we understood the concept of constructor and how I can create object from a class and how we can invoke method from using object. Class method, how I can invoke using object. And with this, can I say we understood what are the data types we have? Correct? So any question do you have from this part?
The base is not now, but could you please share this video because
Yes. I do.
we
I'll do.
might
So
find out. Yeah.
yes, tomorrow by end of day you'll get it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So because we have 1 week time completely, you learn it again. We'll meet in the Saturday. Okay. We'll continue from here again. Before to that, you will get these things. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Devasis,
Perfect. So
could you please go
yes,
to anonymous window code? Just want to see.
you want to see the anonymous window code?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I'm just coming here. I just came here.
yeah, controlling. Okay, we are creating the class and okay, got
We
it.
are creating the object. This is my object creation, calling the constructor to create the object.
Okay.
Then I call my method. I
So you
pass
are
the parameter.
okay. So I have one small question, Devasis.
Yes.
So just if I don't know anything, all those things, just if I did calculator dot add of uh,
Hmm.
10 comma 20, if I pass it, then also I'll get the result, right?
Yes. So instead of writing here, you can pass integer value. It's 10 and 20 are integer values. Because my parameter, my method takes it to integer value. Pass it 10, 20. No worries. It can be. So number one, number two, nothing but replacing this 10, 20 is being replaced with that values. Correct?
Yeah, got you.
See, I go to debug only. You can see 30. Okay.
Okay.